Good afternoon, everybody. Very nice to all see you in this webinar, and welcome to this webinar. And above all, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for taking the time to come and listen to us, but hopefully also to talk with us, because there will be obviously at the end a Q&A session. So do not hesitate to talk. That's what makes the webinar even richer. Just a bit of housekeeping before we do so. At the bottom of your screen, you have a little Q&A button. So if you have any question during this webinar, do not hesitate to use this Q&A button. Use the Q&A button and not the chat, because the Q&A button will make sure that we can keep track of your questions and that we won't forget any of those questions. So, but let's get now into our topic this afternoon. So, the reason why we're here today is because by now, most likely, you've been, as a retailer or an agency, contacted by a CSS, and a CSS who wanted you to use them to advertise your product on shopping ads, or possibly also to manage themselves your shopping ads campaign on your behalf. And most likely you went like, why? Why now? Why should I do this? What's in it for me? Well, what's in it for you is the improvement that a CSS can bring to your shopping ads campaign. And this is exactly what we're going to talk today. We're going to talk about how a CSS can improve your shopping ads campaign. So, to do so today, we've separated this webinar in two parts. The first part will be by Google, and where Google explains shopping ads, how it works, and the different products that you have. And in the second part, I will talk to you about how Kelkoo can very concretely improve your performance on shopping ads. After that, in future episodes, we will go a bit deeper, and we will explain how to set up your merchant center, how to optimize your campaigns from the get-go, and how a CSS like Kelkoo can help you on this way. In also further future episodes, short episode this times, we will concentrate on little merchant cases where you will see concretely what we've done with the merchants and the results for those merchants. But let's go back to our topic for today. And our topic for today, how to drive more sales on Kelkoo, on Google shopping ads with a CSS like Kelkoo. So, if you press to the next slide, please. Today we have two speakers, so I'm going to be impolite and start to introduce myself briefly. So my name is Vincent. I'm the Global Partnership Director at Kelkoo, and I'm basically in charge of a team of PPC consultants who are helping retailers across Europe to improve their PPC campaigns or their social campaigns. I guess that's all you need to know about me at this point. So we'll give now the mic to my colleague Fabien from Google, who will present himself and then talk to you about shopping ads.
Great. Thank you very much, Vincent. So hi, everyone. Very happy to see that many people connected. So my name is Fabien. I'm a shopping specialist and account manager at Google. I've been working at Google for 2 years now. I work in a team called Perfex, so taking care of comparison shopping services, so CSSs. Joining me today, I have Colin and Frederic that will introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Frederic. I work in Google, and I'm heading all the business operations for shopping ads via CSS in EMEA. And Fabien and Colin here are in my team. Very nice to be here.
Yeah, just a very, very brief introduction. My name is Colin. I've been at Google for about 8 years, working with comparison shopping service providers over the last 2 years. And I'm a manager working alongside Fred and Fabien. Very happy and excited to be here.
Thank you. So if we're here today is to talk about shopping ads, right? Makes sense. And the goal today is really to cover the basics of shopping ads, to make sure that you know what they are, how they work, how to run them, how the shopping auction system works. So today is really like the basics of shopping ads. So then we can go further in the second webinar talking about feed optimization, campaign optimization, and really like go a bit deeper. So let's start with the basics. What are shopping ads? So shopping ads are impactful ads for products that appear for relevant queries on Google general search result pages. So if you look for a shampoo for dry hair, for example, you can see, as in the screenshots on the displayed on the deck, the shopping ads. So worth noticing that they can appear on Google general search result pages, but also on the shopping tab and on other surfaces like YouTube, for example. So they are impactful ads. They are highly visible because they appear at the top of the page. They're highly visual as well because they display the picture of the product. And when the user clicks on it, they will be directly redirected to the relevant product page on your website, so taking the users straight to a purchase point. Shopping ads are highly relevant as well because the way they are triggered is to match users' search terms with what you have in your product feed. So for example, if a user is looking for gray sofa bed, we will match the query with products that are a gray sofa bed. So that's why here it's super important that you do have put great information about your product, relevant information and complete information about your product, so we can actually match the relevant product to the queries. And last but not least, in shopping ads, the elements that are being shown in the shopping ad are the key elements of the product. So we show the picture, we show the name of the product, we show the price of the product, we show the retailer / brand of the product, and other interesting information for the users, like customer ratings or a discount or things that can help the user and take the decision to actually click on the ad. So here again, it's super important that all the information that are being displayed on the shopping ad are relevant to the users. So hence the need to make sure that the quality of your product feed is important. So if I have to summarize shopping ads in a nutshell, the objective of shopping ads is to help you drive online sales by having highly visually impactful ads being shown to users who are interested in the products you are selling and redirecting them directly to a purchase point. Those shopping ads, they are available in 21 countries across the European Economic Area and Switzerland. We launched shopping ads last year in 5 countries, being Finland, Greece, Hungary, Romania, and Slovakia. So in those 21 countries, you can run shopping ads. To be able to do so, you need 4 main things on top of an e-commerce website, of course. One is a merchant center, where you can have all the information related to your business. Then is the product feed. So it's all the information related to your products. So the information we discussed before, so like the key ones, the title, the price, the name, but also all the relevant features that users may find interesting, like the description, or the attributes like the color for apparel, or the fabric for apparel, for example. Everything needs to be in the product feed. Then you need a Google Ads account, of course, to be able to run the shopping ad campaigns. And you need to select at least one CSS, comparison shopping services. You can have one or you can have several CSSs, completely up to you. So CSSs, you have a wide variety of CSSs available in Europe to choose from. We have a CSS partner website that you can check called the Comparison Shopping Partners at withgoogle.com. And those CSSs, they provide different types of services, pricing, and expertise. So some CSSs would manage the campaign for you. Some will let you manage the campaign, but give you recommendations about the campaigns. They can price differently. They can have different technology, feed optimization, bidding, reporting. Some have a specific expertise about an industry. Some operate in just some countries. Some in all the 21 countries I mentioned before. So you have like, yeah, every CSS has its own, each CSS has its own expertise and services for you to have a look. So I would recommend you to have a look at the portal and to look at this. So to summarize, if you want to place shopping ads in EEA and Switzerland, it's CSSs that can place shopping ads on the Google general search page. And if you want to place shopping ads, you need to participate through any CSSs of your choice. If you look at the shopping ad, at the bottom of the shopping ad, this is where you can find the name of the CSSs. So here on this picture, it's by CSS 3, 1, 2, 4, 5. That's where you can see it on the shopping ad. So you might wonder now, how does the shopping auction work for shopping ads? So to make it a bit simple, who wins the auction depends on both the bid, the quality, and the relevance of the ad. We're going to have a look at a quick video after that to show you some examples of how it works if a merchant goes through one CSS or several CSSs. But to make it simple, to simplify, we will assume that in the quick video we'll see all the ads have the same relevance and quality, so that it's only the bid that is the decisive factor. So in the video, we'll have the example of Mary and Joe that both sell shoes online. And in the first case, they use one CSS, and in the second case, they use several CSSs. Let's have a look.
How much they would be willing to pay, quality and relevance of the ad. Let's look at a couple of examples. For simplicity, we will assume all ads have the same relevance and quality, and the bid is the decisive factor. Mary runs a large online shoe store. She works with Super CSS to place shopping ads. Joe runs a shoe store in Madrid. He works with All Shoe CSS to tailor shopping ads to his needs. The next time a shopper looks for a new pair of sneakers, both Mary and Joe hope to get their attention with their shopping ads. The auction begins. Super CSS bids 25 cents to place Mary's ad, while All Shoe CSS bids 20 cents on Joe's behalf. Assuming all other factors were equal, since Mary CSS bids more, she gets the best ads placement. But Super CSS only pays 20 cents, which is the amount of the next highest bid. Mary decides to work with additional CSSs. She hires Google Shopping and Impact CSS for the different pricing models and features that they offer. Joe also adds Apparel CSS because they will only charge him if his ads turn into a purchase. They all participate in the next auction. Impact CSS bids 30 cents, Super CSS bids 25 cents, and Google Shopping bids 15 cents on behalf of Mary. While All Shoe CSS bids 20 cents, and Apparel CSS bids 10 cents on behalf of Joe. Since the Impact CSS bid is the highest, Mary wins the auction again. But Impact CSS still only pays the 20 cents that All Shoes bid on behalf of Joe. The price paid to maintain the position is never determined based on the bids from other CSSs for the same merchant. What matters is the next best bid for a different merchant. What Impact CSS charges Mary for the click depends on the agreement they have. For example, Impact CSS may charge a fixed CPC of 30 cents for each click, or they may only charge Mary a commission if the click indeed led to a sale. For more tips on participating in the shopping ads auction, visit the Help Center.
So here it is. No, let's not play it again. I think one time was enough. So in a nutshell, what you have to keep in mind is that in EEA and Switzerland, only CSSs can place shopping ads. And you can use one or several CSSs at the same time. Second, all CSSs have the same opportunities to place ads on your behalf, and no ad space is reserved for any particular CSS. And then, like it was just said in the video, a merchant will never be second priced against itself in an auction. So you can use one CSS, two CSSs, 10 CSSs. You will never be second priced against yourself. So that's the main thing I wanted to tell you about the shopping auction. And now I want to finish by showing you a little bit of the diversity of formats we have on shopping. Because so far what I've showed you is what we tend to call product listing ads, or PLAs. You will listen to this term PLA quite a lot. And I wanted to make you discover two other formats. The first one, it's called showcase ads. Let's have a look at how it looks. So you can see it here on the screen. It looks quite similar to PLA, but the difference is that all the pictures you see here, it's actually the same ad. So it's one merchant, here it's Wayfair, and all the pictures you see is it's the one ad for Wayfair. If you want to see the second ad that is from Pottery Barn, you have to click on the Pottery Barn, then you have CB2. So here the goal actually is to display several products to the same user as a way to inspire the user. We tend to showcase ads when the query is quite generic. So it can be useful for the user to see a diversity of products from you. So here, for example, the query is coffee tables. I'm not that precise, so maybe it can be worth for me and for you to show me different coffee tables you're selling. While what we saw before, if I'm looking for a gray leather sofa for 5 seats, maybe a PLA would be good because I quite know already what I want. So showcase ads is particularly interesting for product categories where you need to be inspired, like apparel, like home and garden, like beauty and cosmetics, for example. So, and they are available in the UK, France, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, and Ireland. So if you work in a product category that where you need to inspire users, and if you are running shopping ads campaign in those countries, I strongly recommend that you do have a look at this format. We tend to see great results when it comes to for brands to get new customers that discover your brand through this format. So that's showcase ads. So that's the first format I wanted to share with you. The second one is called local inventory ads. So we know that many people look for information online and actually go buy the products offline. And the goal of local inventory ads is to make the link between the offline and the online world. So to give you a number, 83% of shoppers who visited a store in the last week said they search online before going to a store. And the goal of local inventory ads is to help users know where they can purchase the product they saw on the local inventory ads. How it looks like this. So you can see here below the picture, you can see that there is written 0.9 miles away. So this is an indication to the user where they can actually buy the product they see online. So how it works, local inventory ads tend to serve when there is a local intent from the user. So looking to buy something near me, to where to buy a specific product. They tend to be displayed as well when a user is close to one of your shops. So you can decide, for example, if a user is less than 2 kilometers away from one of your shops, you can decide to show a local inventory ads. But if the user is more far than 2 kilometers away from your shop, to show a regular product listing ad. And local inventory ads are more likely to serve as well on mobile devices where people can actually move and go to the store. So those local inventory ads is available in Austria, Denmark, France, Germany, Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, and the UK. And we tend to see a greater CTR on the local inventory ads than on a regular shopping ad. So it's worth considering as well if you have brick and mortar stores in those countries to consider doing local inventory ads. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. So really understand the basic of shopping ads, everything that is possible to do with shopping ads. And next time I will be able to go a bit deeper and really tackle the topics of how to improve the quality of your feed and how to improve the shopping campaigns as well. So I'm going to give the mic to Vincent.
Thank you very much. So we're going to try to change screen now without destroying the whole thing. So here we go. So I guess everybody can see my screen okay. So let's get right into it. So let's go back to the auction system for a bit. So as Fabien said, if you want to advertise your product in those boxes, in those PLA boxes, you need to enter an auction. And for this auction, let's consider actually 3 retailers, retailers 1 to 3. One bid 31, the second one 29, the third one 27. As Fabien explained, the highest bid wins, and the price of the click will be actually calculated on the second highest bid. So now, as a retailer who wants to advertise your product on shopping ads, you have today 2 choices. The first one is to go through Google Shopping. The second one is to go through Kelkoo Group. Now, from a technical point of view, if you take one way or the other, there is no difference. You still have, as was mentioned before, a merchant center, ads account, etc. From an auction point of view, you are reaching exactly the same auctions. From an audience point of view, you are reaching the same audience as well. And from a user experience point of view, as Fabien was mentioning briefly, it's the same. As a user, if you click on one of those products that you see on PLA, you will land on the product page of the merchant. So if you take one way or the other, at this moment, there is no difference. So where lies actually the difference or differences? Well, as Google explained on their support page, if you bid through Google Shopping, a provisional margin will be taken off by Google Shopping before your bid reaches the auction. So for sake of argument, you bid 5, Google Shopping takes 1. The real bid in the auction for you is 4. When you bid the other way with Kelkoo Group, if you put 5, your bid remains untouched and will be 5. So now there is quite a lot of confusion about this whole system. We've heard a lot of confusions on the market. So let's state the facts for a bit. So basically, there is no rebate granted to CSSs. This doesn't exist. The fact is, again, that Google Shopping takes a provisional margin of your bids before they reaches the auction. So when you go through a CSS like Kelkoo, what is actually happening is that you bypass this margin. That's what happens. So for sake of demonstration today, and I'm sure you've heard this value on the market, so that's why we're going to take 20% as a value. But as just in plain, this 20% is actually the margin of Google Shopping. So therefore, I don't know what the exact value is. Is that 20%? Is that 15? Is that 25? I don't know. But again, for sake of argument today, let's take the 20%. So let's go back to the auction and let's introduce now this little change that retailer 1 and 2 are working with Google Shopping. Retailer 3 is working with Kelkoo. What is happening then is that the 31 bid with Google Shopping becomes 25, because 20% of 31 is 6.2, so let's round it up to 25. And 29 becomes 23. However, the third bid 27 remains unchanged, remains 27. So what's happening is that the bid with Kelkoo will go up the stairs, will go up the ladder, and will end up in the first position and win the auction. And then the same principle apply. If you get clicked, you will pay based on the second highest bid. So again, I insist on the fact that this is a bidding advantage. This is not a rebate. So don't expect, if you switch to a CSS like Kelkoo, don't expect your CPC to drop by exactly 20%. Because first of all, it's an advantage, not a rebate. And second of all, you are still in a dynamic auction environment, meaning that if you switch to a CSS, we still cannot predict how your competitors are going to behave. We cannot predict how aggressively they're going to be. So therefore, never expect if you switch to a CSS to get this exact 20% rebate on your CPC. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, according to the experience that we gathered over the past 3 years, well, we've rarely seen a CPC drop by exactly 20%. Actually, we've seen higher. We've seen CPC dropped up to 38%, which was absolutely huge and is our record so far. Sometimes the CPC didn't change and remained stable. But in both cases, it was always coupled with a significant increase of traffic and therefore significant increase of clicks. Because keep in mind that, as we were saying earlier, the user experience is the same. So if you work with a CSS or if you work with Google Shopping, the user will still go from the image to your website and your website with your conversion rate. So there is no changes there either. So basically, to sum this whole thing up, well, you get more click, you get the clicks at a lower or equal CPC, but you get more sales. Therefore, your return on investment, your ROAS, becomes better. And that's exactly what we do. So now, we've talked about the auction, but actually the auction is one thing, but it's not all about the auction. So let me address that as well, because I'm sure some of you think that it's a possibility. The placement in the auction does not depend on the CSS. If you take CSS A or CSS B or Kelkoo, they all have access to the same bidding advantage. What actually influences your placement? It's all the Google criteria that we know. So quality of your feed, relevancy, quality of your products, the prices, images, customer feedback, bidding, etc., etc. So in our opinion at Kelkoo, a CSS has to be an additional lever to basically make those points that we just mentioned stronger and therefore improve your performance. A CSS at Kelkoo should be a partner that is there at your service, not only to help you bypass a margin, but really help you to increase your performance. So in conclusion, I would say, and this one I'm going to take it easy and read it, it's a CSS should be able to leverage different aspects of your product and of your feed and the different features available in the shopping ads environment to boost your business. This is what it's all about, your business, your performance. And our philosophy at Kelkoo is that we need to be more than a bidding advantage. We need to be a partner. When you choose a CSS like Kelkoo, what is happening is that Google Teams cannot help you anymore on your shopping ads queries. So every challenges, every policy issues, that you have, every optimization that you can do, this is up to the CSS to provide the service. This is up to the CSS to provide you the support that you need. So it's actually our mission. It's the mission that we have given us, that we have given ourselves in proper English, sorry. It's the mission that we have given ourselves that the CSS is here to bring you everything you need to optimize your business, to go further than where you are already now. Basically, if you ask me, a CSS should become part of your PPC team, should be either an additional member of your team, should be an additional arm to your team, but should be, in any case, an additional member, a support for your PPC team. And to achieve all that, what we've done at Kelkoo is that we said, okay, let's create a team of PPC consultants, experienced PPC people who have an excellent knowledge of the Google environment. And this team that we have created is regularly trained on all the new products, on all the new Google products. They're always on top of the newest releases and aim to stay that way. And they have access to market data that can help us to improve your business on a daily basis and make sure that you're ready for all the big periods of the year. That's how we choose to do it at Kelkoo. So again, not only a bidding advantage, but really a team that is at your service, that is part of your own PPC team. When you start working with Kelkoo, you actually get a dedicated PPC manager. Most likely we'll speak your language because we speak actually quite a lot of language already in this team. But I'm sure you're going to find the language that we don't speak. But anyway, we aim to speak your language and bring you this individual support on absolutely all the aspects of the campaigns. So everything around your shopping strategy, around your bidding strategy, around how to build your campaigns, we can support you on that. Everything that has to do with GMC migration, with GMC settings, build up, we can help you on that. We can give you a lot of tips. We can improve how to improve your feed, how to make your feed more relevant. And we can give you access to a lot of data, which could give you information about your visibility and about the business of your competitors. Obviously, we can also help you with any troubleshooting because we've seen quite a few cases so far, so rely on us. So, you know what? I would say to conclude that tell us what you need, tell us where it hurts, and we have somebody at Kelkoo to help you for that. Now, let me talk to you about a few concrete examples. So we have a merchant, a fairly known department store in the UK. I won't give the names, obviously, but because I'm giving a few numbers. But those people have started working with us, let's say a year ago now, more or less. And for the last Mother's Day, thanks to the work of our PPC consultant, we managed to drive 122% more clicks year on year, plus 254 impressions. But again, what's most important for us is the plus 122 clicks. Even for the fashion department, which was a bit tricky during this pandemic, we managed, through our work, to drive an additional 150% of clicks compared to last year. So we do work for your performance. Another quick example about a football retailer, actually, football boots retailer. Fairly small retailer, but with a lot of ambitions. And he has a lot of, his focus is football boots. And on the football boots, we could actually manage to drive 8% quarter on quarter more clicks by keeping the same CPC. So meaning better ROAS. For the basketball category, which was a side business for this person, has become now one of the main business because we've been able to drive a lot of value. But for this basketball business, we grew the clicks by 281% year on year. And at the same time, we managed to decrease our CPC by 19%. So again, a massive improvement of the ROAS. And exactly, this is what we do every day. This is what we work on every day. This is how we can, with working on your feed, working on your settings, working on your campaigns, we can improve your performance. So as we were saying in introduction, in the next webinar, we will actually talk to you about, we'll go a level deeper, let's say, and we will talk about settings. We will talk about how to build your campaigns, how to set up your merchant center, how to bring everything optimized from the get-go. And we will talk obviously how Kelkoo can help you in this case to optimize all your different settings. But in the meantime, you can go to our website on kelkoogroup.com And you have a little part called Insight and Case Studies. In this part, you can find actually quite a lot of cases of merchants, like this one, for example. Don't worry about the link, we'll circulate the links afterwards. But you can find cases about those people with all the merchants that are working with us, been working with us for months or years, and always a few numbers, a testimony, and concrete example on how we could help them.